www.healthcmi.com, the Healthcare Medicine Institute, Acupuncturist Continuing Education Online. Hi, I'm licensed acupuncturist Adam White. Welcome to the Wisdom of Chinese Medicine Dietetics, a video presentation of an Acupuncturist Continuing Education Online course. Today, Professor Jeffrey Pang and I will be presenting several topics on metabolic and urinary tract disorders. Topics include the treatment of obesity, high cholesterol and high triglycerides, diabetes, and urinary tract disorders with Chinese medicine dietetics. A little bit about Jeffrey Pang. Professor Jeffrey Pang received his MD in Western Medicine and TCM from Sun Yat-sen University of Medical Science in Guangzhou, China. He practiced for many years in Guangzhou and Hong Kong and has been in California since the early 1980s. He has also, since 1984, been the department chair for the Theory, Herbology, and Internal Medicine departments at Five Branches University, and he is currently an active faculty member of Five Branches University at both the Santa Cruz and San Jose locations. He authors many publications for Chinese medicine and dietetics for both Health CMI and other areas. In addition to teaching and curriculum development for Five Branches University and Health CMI, Professor Pang has a private practice in Santa Cruz and San Jose, California. Today we'll start off with a little discussion of some nice pu'er tea. What discussion of high cholesterol is complete without talking about an everyday drinking tea that helps to lower issues associated with hyperlipidemia? And then we'll get right into the treatment of high cholesterol and high triglycerides with a Chinese medicine dietetics entree. Just getting settled in with a nice cup of pu'er, which also, I might add, is very good for metabolism. Mm-hmm. And Jeffrey, pu'er is, it's a great black tea, of course called red tea in China because of the color in the cup. Mm-hmm. But the pu'er is also good for cholesterol issues.
Yes. Actually, they study in, even though not in China, study in France. They use it similarly like pu'er, but it's called torcha. Mm-hmm. Then they will be, use it panel, or the patient group. Then they try to be like one group will be use it like something like statin product, the chemical to lower the cholesterol. Then another group will be just taking the pu'er or whatever torcha, then see what happened. Like, they taking for a while. So then they will be draw the blood out, then to be check the cholesterol level. So then actually they find out, of course, it will be not that very strong as like statin category or those kind of chemical things, but it's similarity. So that's what they find out. People, in like Hong Kong, people will be something go to daily basics, go to like a dim sum house. But that usually those dim sum house will be provide the food is something like greasy, oil. But then people will be, eat those greasy food, but they at the same time they will be, drink a lot of pu'er. On the beginning, they don't know why, but they just feel better. Okay, but then later on, people, even those study like in Hong Kong, people will be like we mentioned, those kind of not very healthy food taking, and also because that area is very small, I don't think they had good exercise too. So because lack of the open space. But then people find out, and even though they had very long life comparison with another area, the people, okay, then will be what food is one of the kind of very important issue. Okay, but now I will be probably give you one of the kind of recipe that will be very strong, effective, but also the taste is good. For easy to remember, actually they just put the name like order related with the number, called 2235 soup. So what's the meaning there? So then two, whatever we say, like 2 ounces, or it doesn't matter, a little bit more or a little bit less, okay? Lean pork meat, but that is optional, because that lean pork meat generally we just say, just keep that soup is a little bit like tasty or flavor. So if people, any reason they don't like it to eat lean pork meat, you don't need to put that. That's number 1, 2. Then next 2, there will be hay moor. That is kind of mushroom, but people, when they eat mushroom, for general public, I think they like it to eat like a shiitake mushroom or something like that. Why then? Because they have more flavor, more tasty. But for medicinal effect, shiitake mushroom, even though they both is the mushroom, but comparison with the hay moor is much less medicinal effect. So then we need to be just get the real, the black mushroom. Hay moor itself is no taste at all. So then it's like a dry. So when we use it, that we need to be soaking in the water to be like become soft. That will be what then will be easier to be take. So the hay moor, I think on the before we talked about on the like a general on the last webinar, we talked about that. That will be what is they have very strong effect, like beside they make the cholesterol level down. At the same time, hay moor can be very strong to like have the blood clots. Okay, that meaning what is similarly effect like people now they want to prevention the serious disease like what heart attack, stroke. Then one of the reason, like heart attack especially, they all just come from the blood clots. Okay. Then on the cerebral stroke, then one of course they can be bleeding, but another one is same thing too, is come from the the blood clots. So then the hay moor can be have the blood clots like become make the like a same simple say like blood thinner. Okay, so that will be what people will be asking them to be like when they are older or whatever they have high cholesterol, they just want to be take like daily basics, something like aspirin, blood thinner. But often that blood thinner will be what irritation the stomach. Some even though can be make the bleeding, like stomach ulcer with bleeding, so that will be dangerous. So that actually is the key ingredient. The rest of that, or we say 2, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 5, 8, is the main things. The idea just say you want to be eat as many as the hay moor, but because like we mentioned, if you just keep continually just take one of the hay moor, you will get bored on that because the taste is nothing. So that's what we set up that name called 2, 3, 5, 8. It just will be make the taste better. So then free what? Free is the free slice shenjiang. So shenjiang not only just for the taste, the shenjiang also will be have the body and the metabolism too. Then hongzhao again. So it's good for the taste. 5 pieces Hongjiao. But also the Hongjiao itself is very had nutrition effect to the to the body. So then egg, that will be what? It's just 8 cups of water. So actually those kind of number you can be changing whatever according to your your flavor. So then the idea just say we will be using that daily basics. We drink drink that soup. Then we will be eat the hamur. Then the pork meat or whatever Xinjiang or Hongjiao after cold. You don't need to eat them. Okay, so that will be just kind of the people need to be daily basics to be continually to do that. That definitely will be help the the cholesterol.
Jeffrey, the hamur, I wanted to reinforce, is a very strong blood thinner. So this is something that we share in our safety and ethics courses also. We do point to the fact that if people are already taking blood thinners, it will also make their blood even thinner. Do we have to worry about contraindications if people are taking Coumadin, warfarin?
Usually we say, that kind of hamur, the egg fat is kind of like mild. Had to be long term to use it to get the the egg fat. So they are won't like a chemical, the kind of like a blood thinner. They will be certainly to be double egg fat. They will be cause problem. But then this one, they are accumulated, mild, daily basics, day by day, week by week. So that will be, the effect will be not that certainly happen. So usually we don't need to worry about that much.
And I wanted to say that people take half a baby aspirin a day. Very popular, or aspirin, and that can be very difficult on the stomach. I think hamur is a better choice for people.
Yeah,
with
so then we
gastritis.
won't ask the patient, say, certainly just you stop, completely. We can be a recommendation. How about, you take quarter of that. Instead, a half tablet. Or whatever we say, skip one day, then will be another day. So that meaning just say you need to be gradually to be, subside those blood thinner you already taking. So that will be more safe. Like we mentioned, that kind of, recipe, they won't the chemical things will be immediately make your blood, thing like that way. Okay, so then I don't think we need to worry about that much. So we just keep accumulated slowly, to be daily basics to be take.
And I haven't read anything in the literature to suggest that the dietetics level treatment is a bad idea, but I have read a lot of research showing that it is an effective tool for hamur, for lowering cholesterol, and is a very healthy choice in the diet for people with hyperlipidemia.
Yeah, actually, I heard about some people say, the patient too. You go when you go before you go to surgery or something, or they before they taking something like Gango, Bioba, those kind of product, then the doctor will be recommendation you stop. That probably be okay. It's good idea. But for those kind of tea or soup, I don't think they will be strong effect like those kind of pills or something. We just say it very mild, but it had to be keep continue to do that.
Jeffrey, in your opinion, and I've seen this a lot in the clinic, with the ginkgo leaf, not with the nut that we usually use in traditional Chinese medicine, I find that it, more than shengma, more than chaihu, it tends to raise the yang very strongly, cause headaches, and definitely a problem, like you said, for some people. Do you find that maybe people are overusing the leaf a little too much when they have hypertension?
Yeah, it is, because they are, even though they basic on the, ginkgo, that the ginkgo nut, we use it for 1,000 years. But then the leaf actually in the the TCM documentary, we didn't have mentioned that. That is something like people will be using a little bit different idea because now in the many pharmaceutical company, they also to go to that direction to they get some research from the certain plant or something, then they like a ginkgo, they get the leaf, then they use a different kind of idea. They will be using the pharmaceutical method to isolate certain ingredient, because the herbal medicine, you had, even though like ginkgo or ginkgo leaf, inside, if you very carefully to be analysis, they can be had like 10 or more than 10 different kind of chemical compound. So then they will be the idea usually in the pharmaceutical company. They will be asked the scientists to research, see, isolated to certain, the compound, chemical compound. Then will be used whatever animal or something to be do the research, see how they affect to the body. Okay, but in the traditional teaching, we don't have that kind of method. So we generally just use the whole one, the like whole leaf or like a nut or something. Then will be cooked with certain herb or cooked with certain food. So then the idea will be very different. So like the tablet or whatever they making many, even though like garlic or any another kind. So then they make that kind of pills. That will be somewhat different story from what we now talking about, those kind of conventional TCM dietetic.
And I wanted to add to that because the concept of an isolated extract and isolated protein pharmaceutically, it's very popular now. A lot of pharmaceutical companies are doing this with Chinese herbal medicine, but this is very different than what we've been doing in Chinese medicine.
I tell you another example. Like for example, like a huanglan su. So then we will be using the huanglan for many years. One of the kind of like we say kill the bacteria in the intestinal, like cause like dysentery bacteria. That actually is one of the effect. So then they use it like similar pharmaceutical method to isolate it, to make like a huanglan su. Didn't say no good. It's pretty good because they just working on one certain things, just like diarrhea. So actually, by myself too, I carry that huanglan su when I travel. It's very effective, more than even though the raw form of the huanglan. But the idea, when we do the tea or whatever we do the dietetic recipe, the huanglan is not only this effect. It had many another idea, like we mentioned, even though for the the hot fire, or even though for somewhat bleeding, it's due to the heat, or somewhat related with somewhat infection, those kind of things. So that's why we mentioned, but that's okay. It's one of the research direction, because they can be research on certain special, the compound, so then they can be more make the effect. I can give you another example too, like Qinghao. We use Qinghao is like a herb, but now Qinghao su, or they what call artemisium something.
Artemisia.
Yeah, artemisia. That will be what they can be instead medication for malaria. So that will be what is really strong, like pharmaceutical. So that will be what is another direction. That will be more handled by, pharmaceutical. But now in our subject in here, the area, we will be just use it, conventional, those kind of like a decoction or food recipe. That will be it's good, and we need to be more research too.
Yeah, in fact, the World Health Organization at one point put out $300 million to grow more Qinghao in Africa because people became resistant to the standard pharmaceutical. So there was a pharmaceutical preparation of Qinghao, isolated, extracted, concentrated, and had quite miraculous effects. Getting back to that concept, very popular right now with patients in the health food store. is concentrated red yeast rice for hypertension, for high cholesterol. And it's definitely not part of Chinese medicine history to hyperconcentrate red yeast rice, even though it is lovastatin. And I think you picked up on this.
The statin, that product is all come from the the research of the people who to be isolated, something like effective the chemical compound, the ingredient. So then they will be concentrated, then they will be made. So that will be what is very strong. That will be consumed pharmaceutical medication.
Right.
And but then now we talk about something. You use it like red yeast for cooking or for something like make the food. That's different idea. So then they will be the red yeast actually is not only has statin ingredient, it had something else too. So now we talk about that kind of dietetic effect is the whole, like a red yeast effect is not only the statin effect.
And even within the statin family, what happens in the pharmaceutical companies is they, for example, go after lovastatin or one of the statins in the statin family. But red yeast rice has a broad spectrum of statins within it. So it's not a high concentration of lovastatin, but the balance of low levels of lots of statins that gives it that incredible effect for the blood and for dissolving fats and clearing. So we lose that in a pharmaceutical presentation, this concept that an herbal medicine, a whole herb in its true form, whether cooked or whether boiled or capsule, pill, has a broad spectrum effect. And I think people may be losing a little bit of that. Some of the over-the-counter things are not pharmaceutical preparations. They're just concentrated herbals. So maybe a little different, but very new to Chinese medicine. Yeah,
it is, even though there will be not that strong as statin, but the statin will be had very strong side effect to damage the like the liver or even to the muscle to be make the destroy the muscle. So then people, if you just eat like red yeast, let's say we talked about rice soup or things like that, so we won't have any of those kind of side effect. So that's why we need to back to the original things. Okay, even though it's not that very strong effect, but will be gradually, but will be without any damage for the health.
All right.
Okay, so how about we can do another slide here. There will be, we talked about for the high blood pressure or for the, the high cholesterol or, the high triglycerin. We actually call those free high in the Chinese language. So say syndrome related with free high, okay, because that usually they are all those combination together. So now we talked about something like a recipe will be good for that. One will be what we mentioned on the before, and actually we will be mentioned that recipe later on the skin disease too. We talked about high dilutang, okay, that will be very effective. But same again, when we talked about that recipe, it's not only those kind of ingredients. We need to also know a little bit TCM, the diagnosis too. Because they're only just for good for certain group of the patient. That's why some people, they taking that recipe, but then they report, they say it's not that much effect, okay? But then another patient, they taking the same kind of recipe, then they will be report, they say, oh, very effect for me. Why then? So we actually need to be know, even though we point out that kind of recipe, but it's not necessarily good for everybody. What's the meaning? That like a high dilute basically is cooling Okay, it's good for what? Like people who had like the liver, because like diagnosis for hyperpressure, we can be diagnosis. One common happen is like yin shu yang kang. We talks about the liver yin deficiency. That will be make the heat floating up, okay, or even to just say excessive heat from the liver. We just call that a liver fire. Okay, so then basically those group, the patient, the body is generating a lot of heat. That will be matched with the high dilutotang because that is same thing, because it's cooling, so they can be helped. But we don't forget, in the hyperpressure, it can be another diagnosis we call yin and yang both shu. Okay, so then we be what those kind of people, they actually in the body is not like TCM, those kind of heat condition. They will be what actually will be had even though like kidney yang shu symptoms. If like that, they taking the high dilutotang, it can be make them like weakness, feel weak, and feel like dizzy, somewhat like fat, like kind of the deficient condition. Okay, so now that's what I will be give you another choice. That will be more mild, so be good for everybody. Even though like we mentioned, both liver yin and yang both deficiencies. That will be what we still use a high dye or whatever we call high jiao, or even though called quenbu. They just the name we talked about is certain kind of the seaweed. Okay, so then those kind of seaweed, that's one of the main ingredient. But also we will be what again will be used Haymur. Your Haymur in the TCM system, I don't think they will be had that much temperature related. Okay, high dye, quenbu, they all related with cooling or cold. Okay, but Haymur is kind of neutral. Then before we mentioned, use a Lü Dou, that mung bean. So it's very good for the liver yin shu yang kang or whatever liver heat widen, because the mung bean is generally is very cooling. But now we instead we use huang dou. That meaning what soybean. So then soybean in the TCM, those kind of nature related will be like neutral. It's not that hot or not that cold. So then will be what I think that recipe will be general good for everybody to be like long term to taking. Okay, so then if we even don't want to be make more convenient and easier, then I can give you another choice too. That will be what you actually don't need to be boiling or cook or any kind. You just like making like tea. So then will be what we put the sanja. Okay, the sanja is hot done. You can easily to buy it in any supermarket. I mean the Chinese supermarket. Then they already prepare and slice and put it clean. Okay, then they selling as like like food. Like people is not in the herb store. It's actually just in the food store. Then will be what we torta or whatever we mentioned, pu'er. Juhua will be what chrysanthemum. So then we just put those ingredients soaking in the teapot. Okay, with very high boiling water. That will be what like we just like now I drinking those kinds of pu'er tea. It's just more stronger and more flavor. Okay. Okay, so we will be next slide. Okay.
This next slide is on gastric ulcer. Do we want to cover that?
Actually, we had. Let me just go one more. because I a little bit mix up the in order. Keep continue. Probably up or try keep continue because no, that had to be a bad work.
All right.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
let
bad work.
me go back. Hold on.
Keep continue bad work. Yeah.
And you're looking for
Keep continue bad work. I think.
what particular slide are we gonna get to here? Particular herb or?
I think we also talked about the sunchip powder or something to be.
Got the hung chu.
Yeah, that's okay. We can talk about that a little bit too. That will be, we talked about the before those recipe, but some can be very simple recipe. We can be use it. It just use it brown rice or whatever with any kind of rice without polishing, because that will be have more nutrient. But the idea or problem is what because the soybean they will be the rice, they will be with the soybean to cook, that will be a little bit difficult to digest, and if you use it the normal cooking way to be cooked, that will be considering somewhat like complicated to to digest it or to eat. Some people say, okay, I like it, brown rice. We know that it's more nutrient than the regular white rice. But how come when I take it, I feel not very comfortable, make my stomach kind of not so good. So then will be what? Then actually, because the related with is the method for the cooking. So then will be what? We should be soak those kind of like soybean and the brown rice like overnight. Then later on will be what? The next morning, then we cook. That will be much easier. Or another method will be what? We can be used those kind of like soybean and also the brown rice. That will be what we can be somewhat to be make like put it in the slow cooker, like cook overnight, become a congee. So that will be much easier to be digested.
Okay, so here we're going to have soybean and brown rice overnight for cholesterol with the red yeast rice with that?
Yeah, you can be also with we actually in the market they are available to selling something not have preparation is something like a raw form of the red yeast rice.
Right.
They just like a rice. It's just like a red, okay. Then they why they become a red is because they already fermented by something certain kind of yeast, red yeast. So then they will make the rice is kind of red. So then we can be using that, put it in
with the soybean and the brown rice.
Yeah, with the soybean and the brown rice.
And the red yeast rice is fermented rice, and it is a traditional decorative rice, usually used in small concentrations. But again, as a decorative rice, it's a healthy part of the diet, along with the hemu'er, along with other things like the soybean and brown rice, things like this. But also, you can use a little bit more of it in with the soybean and brown rice here. And we had a slide on baimu'er and hemu'er. Did we want to get to a different slide now, Jeffrey?
Yeah, we could be continue to down the slide, okay.
Do you want to get to diabetes?
Yeah, we can do that diabetes too.
All right.
Then we something we don't need to in order. Then actually the diabetes, that is the second slide. We had the first slide too. Keep continue on the before, reverse.
That's what we have from the new slides, right?
Okay.
So
Okay, we go that. Then later on, during the break, I bring my USB to see what happened. Those kind of slides.
okay.
Next time, actually, I probably bring my, my iPad. Okay.
Okay, iPad.
Yeah.
All right.
I have that. Yeah, roll it in my iPad already. But anyway, so we will be talks about the diabetes, the recipe. So one of that will be what we use it yam leaf. Okay, then now the modern research, we know that the yam leaf they will be is very good for the diabetic, but the yam leaf is not the traditional veggie for, even though for the Chinese or even though for the American diet, because in the market it will be probably difficult to find it. But we can be actually, because the market demand for the past several years, those kind of like yam leaf, the fresh one, is already on the market. I think
Excellent.
I show you when we go to the field trip or something. But anyway, so we didn't have that picture. But when we did the student go to the market,
yeah.
they always can be find that now. Okay, so then another ingredient will be tong xin chai. Tong xin chai, that will be what is one of the veggie. Of course, it's difficult to find it in the American market, but now in all the Asian market will be very, very common to find that. I think the tong xin chai, we had that slide or something.
Let me look around a little.
Yeah, it is. That's like, because they usually put it in the whole bunch. Okay, then will be what the stem will be like a hollow. Okay, then they usually selling is like a bunch. Okay, so then that actually that not only just for the diabetes too, it's also good for the, later on we talk about the obesity. It's one of the key veggie. Why then? Because people find out, maybe in China or in Vietnam, people find out if they just eat those kind of tong xin chai, the veggie, without the meat, then later on, they become lose weight, slim. But on the old time, actually that's not the healthy, side. Usually people, when they lose weight, when they become skinny, usually that meaning they are had something like a sick or not good nutrition things. So then will be what that actually that for now the modern time that is very, very good veggie to be help people whatever lose weight and for diabetes too. Then another one that will be what bitter melon. I think everybody know already that is become a popular veggie in any culture. Actually, bitter melon on the originally is not the TCM or Chinese veggie. It's come from the Indian. That is a very strong veggie, but also is considering is something very like a medicinal. It is like a medicine. Okay, so then will be all those kind of, like we chop it, like put the bitter melon, chop in the small pieces. Then will be what we also put the tong xin chai. You chop it into the small pieces. Okay, so then we all like mix it together with the yam leaf. Okay, then you put a little bit vinegar. So that will become a very strong, medicinal dietary recipe for people who had diabetes. But otherwise, if you want to, you also can be put those kind of above ingredient to be boiling, become a soup, or become a like decoction. That will be also is strong too.
Jeffrey, is purple yam leaf better than an orange yam?
Usually, yes, because they had, the yam, if they had, more color, I don't think had any, I think same thing with any kind of food. If they had more deep color, then inside will be had something like chemical with, some kind of ingredient will be consumed more strong. Even Western study, they talk about something like antioxidant or, anti-cancer or things like that. Okay, but same thing too. Now the yam leaf, the problem is that it's on the mainstream market. I don't think you can easy to find it. Okay, so but because now every city will be have farmers market. Okay, then will be what people can be find out, can be buy it in the Asian market, but also in the farmers market.
So for the soup, we take the yam leaf, we take the tongshin chai, and the bitter melon skin.
And actually, the bitter melon, because when we say the skin is what is
The whole bitter melon.
it's less bitter. So then, when you make like salad, you remember when we talked about that recipe, you can make salad or you can make decoction. So then make salad might be the skin is easier because then you peel the skin off, then then you chop it, then with those kind of like yam leaf or the tongshin chai leaf, then you mix it a little bit like dressing, like vinegar. Okay, so that will be. But if you make the soup, you don't need to use just the skin, you just the whole one. Okay, and also if you just just eat like a veggie, you don't need to eat the whole.
Would you use a Chinese black vinegar or a regular salad vinegar?
That will be depend on the people. Later on, we have one of the recipe talks about the vinegar, put the peanut or soybean to be to soaking, or something like even egg to soaking. Just put it in the black vinegar. Then you can have choice then. Why then? Because we actually recommendation you eat those kind of like peanut or the egg or soybean, after you make like pickle. Then you also drink a little bit of vinegar too. So then if like a regular vinegar, for example, like apple cider or whatever we just say the regular rice vinegar, that probably is too sour for many people.
Right.
Okay, then people know that vinegar is generally good for the human body. They had really something interesting effect, like sour things you taking, but in the body they will be after the metabolism they change into alkali. But the problem is that some people just say, sour vinegar is good, so then they taking many. But then will be what? Then they will be another problem. Some will be get stomach ulcer or whatever. Especially if they had already slightly had irritation on the digestion system.
Then vinegar is out.
Yeah, then will be. Then the black vinegar actually will be easier for them, but it will be same fat like a vinegar.
And black vinegar is traditionally prepared with something sweet in it. It's more of like a recipe, and it's very mild and very flavorful. So, again, with the yam leaf, tongshin chai, and bitter melon skin as a salad, is that the best way to keep bitter melon from being too bitter, is preparing it just with the skin? Or is there another way to prepare bitter melon when cooking with it to prevent it from being too bitter?
So if you know cooking with bitter melon, you have several choice. So then like one of the choice like now we mentioned, you put the peeling the skin, that will be less bitter. But the problem is that you not really can be eat that much large amount. So then we will be, if you want to be have more benefit from the bitter melon, generally speaking, we be get the whole one, then you slice it, then you put like a blanch, put it in the water, then take them out. There will be less bitter taste. Then after the bitter melon cooked, then you can make many different kind of recipe. So that's what the kind of method to be.
Okay. And we had a few questions coming in about tungshin chai and bitter melon. We're looking at bitter melon right here. It's this gourd-shaped vegetable. And you will find it in Asian markets and Asian restaurants too. It can be very bitter. Again, with the skin only, less bitter. And then tungshin chai, it's almost like spinach.
Kind of
like spinach.
Yeah.
And it'll be a little more difficult to identify in terms of a person not familiar with tungshin chai. So it presents some difficulty, this formula. We're just starting to introduce these things, and they are definitely available in Asian markets, tungshin chai. They were so wrapped up when we did the photo shoot. We don't have a close-up, but it is pretty much having a spinach-like appearance.
Yeah,
and I
probably
think that's
you substitute it by spinach will be similarity effect, but probably just less. But it's okay to be substituted by any kind of like a healthier, something veggie related with like a high fiber, okay, but also like deep green, because that will be related with in TCM, same thing like related with the liver.
And I think that's critical, that when we look at those deep greens, especially the leafy greens, we're always thinking liver.
Yeah. And also a little bit things can be mentioned too, like we talked about those peanut raw egg. No problem with the raw one. You're just soaking in the the vinegar. But the soybean, better way is had to be cooked at, steam at, or whatever to make them like not raw. Then you're soaking in the vinegar. And otherwise, people report that say if you just use the raw soybean to soaking in the vinegar, then you eat them, it might be generating somewhat digestion issue. Like bloated or gas or any kind. Why then? Because generally speaking, we say all those kind of soybean is need to be cooked for the when you use it for the food, because the soybean inside will be somewhat enzyme. Like for example, we make soybean juice. Okay, we can make it by yourself. You just use the soybean to make like juice machine. Then you can make the fresh soybean juice. But you cannot just after you make the juice, you drink it like that way. The law it be a problem. So then we always need to be cook that soybean juice first. Okay, then later on we can use it that soybean juice, or later on we make the tofu. It's all cooked. So the idea just say you cook the soybean first, then you soaking in the vinegar to become that recipe.
Okay.
But the egg you don't need to. That actually we have one of the kind called the pickle egg. You can just put the raw. Then even though the whole egg the shell is dissolved, then will be what that ingredient with they getting into the vinegar. So we have more calcium, things like dietetic calcium is easy to digest too. Okay, so then the peanut, same thing. So those kind of combination will be good for, to help the diabetes. Okay, so we keep continue. So then another choice related with those kind of free high, like we mentioned, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, or high triglycerin. So then will be what? Another choice will be using the recipe. It's 决明子. I think everybody know that herb originally we use it for like brighter eyes, and also for even though for have the bowel movement. It's very mild. In Korean.
Let's start again.
Oh, we start again.
All right, I apologize for a little lapse in the sound there. How do we sound now? Good, everybody? All right, thank you. All right, let's begin. We're going to start off with Dui Mingzi.
Yeah, Dui Mingzi again. So that will be Dui Mingzi is the mild herb. We don't need to worry about not like a Da Huang or Mang Xiao, those kind of things. They are kind of have the bowel movement but without the side fat. But original, like everybody knows, that 决明子 is good for like brighter eyes, those kind of, or eyes infection, those kind of conditions. But now we use it for something else. Okay, for what then? For like a free high syndrome, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and high triglycerin. Then how that recipe affect? Same thing too. That will be very good to be used just only like we make tea. So like now we drinking those tea, it will be easy to do it. So when we be 决明子, the 决明子you can have choice. Whatever you can be just raw, put it in. But you can be also fry a little bit to make the flavor better. Because after you put it in the, like a roaster, put it in the oven, slightly roasted, so then we be look like coffee, those kind of changing. The coffee after roasted, they will be a little bit different flavor. Then another choice, you can be even stronger, so that will be what use the 决明子 to powder up. You also can do that too. Then combine with again shanja and jihua. Then another good ingredient will be talks about 粳米茶. That will be what selling every Asian market and especially Japanese market, because that is one of the style. They put the tea leaf, green tea leaf, but with fried rice. Why do that? Because everybody know now, say tea is good. We need to be drink, the tea as many as we can. But the problem is that not every, same thing again, just like vinegar, not everybody, the stomach can handle that. So then some people don't know that kind of things. So then they, drink more tea. Then later on they get side fat. Then they stop to drink. They say, "Oh, that's not work. Okay, it's not good for me." But if we can know how make a little bit change it, so we will be get the benefit from the tea, but without any irritation. Especially like we mentioned, for some people who had sensitive digestion system. Okay, because the that 玄米茶 or whatever we say 粳米茶 is already diluted, and also will be, because they combine with the rice, because the rice will be what is have the stomach qi to have moderated the stomach, so then we can be using that kind of combination to do it all the time, so should be without any side fat when we drinking that tea.
So Jeffrey, here we're going to pan roast the
Yeah, they already mix it already. You just go to buy it. They put it in the packaging. Is green leaf, mix it with pan, roasted brown rice. Yeah, 粳米茶.
So that's why we see on some of the labels. I wrote genmaicha here because it's more of a Japanese pronunciation, or gangmi, rice, cha, tea. So we see that in Japanese restaurants, in the United States, typically.
Yeah, or even though Korean, Japanese, restaurants always provide that.
In Santa Cruz County, that's for sure. Mm-hmm. So again, green tea is very cooling, but very hard on the stomach chi. We mix it with the rice.
That will be protect the stomach chi. Because people don't know that kind of things. They just only they know one knowledge. Say, green tea is good. That's what, according to the Western society, they talk about, anti-oxidant, anti-cancer. But how come after I drink, I feel, even, uncomfortable or even feel worse?
Exactly.
Okay? Because, the green tea, cold can be damaged the stomach chi. Then some people, they already had like shu and cold. Then, they drink the green tea, I don't think will be benefit them.
No.
Instead, actually, will be hurt them, because the stomach it can be more like aggravated, by the tea. So that's what we look like. Easy, simple, but if you know that kind of inside the wisdom, then you'll be had pretty much maximum.
Is it a fried tea or is it pan roasted?
No fry, because if we use English fry, we be like a fried rice or those things. They will be using the oil to put the rice. No.
Dry roasted.
Just the dry roasted without any things adding, or any oil. No.
I think there are some preparations commercially where they may use some oil, which isn't so good. Mm-hmm. Not the correct way. So Dui-Ming's also can be pan roasted.
If you have time, all those things you can be prepared by yourself. Like Dui-Ming, like I mentioned again, they can be prepared. Same again like a fried. I mean not fried, even roasted. Okay, then you can make like powder, or you can be just raw form like that. Depends everything to depend on your stomach condition too.
So Jeffrey,
seems simple, but actually, all those kind of dietetic things had to be back to the basic things like diagnosis. Because we say, good for the human, good for the person. But what kind of person then?
Right. Yeah. People are very hot on the antioxidant theory, but in reality, we don't want to hurt the stomach chi. So they're better off with a oolong tea or pu'er or tocha tea because those are easier on the stomach chi. Here we can get around that with the green tea than with the rice. But I wanted to ask about Dui-Ming's. We heat up the pan nice and hot, then add the Dui-Ming's to pan
You
roasting.
can do that, but you also, another easy way, you just put the Dui-Ming's into the roaster.
So bake it.
Bake it, yeah.
So just bake it.
Yeah, just like we bake the coffee bean or things like that kind of method.
So maybe 350 degrees, 400 degrees Fahrenheit for 20 minutes.
Yeah, but of course not too high because when we say cooking, we need to keep the temperature is not
not to hurt the oils in the Dui-Ming's. So that's the one thing we can get that pan roasted or baked flavor, but we don't want to destroy the precious oils in there. What about I want to ask, as I love to toast walnuts, which is great for the young. But a little bit roasting seems okay, but we don't want to hurt the oils. So
no, actually, because for the flavor, a little bit roasted is much more flavor than But the problem is that, like, even Chinese cooking too, like, they have good for more flavor. They, first we put the walnut to be, deep fry, then take them out.
Deep fry.
Then mix it with vegetable. Seems good, healthy, but it's not.
But little pan roasted or toasted.
So, low temperature, we keep it to, like under 300 something. Then for a little bit while to just make the, they have slightly changing to have more flavor, but won't damage inside the ingredient. That's what we want to.
So Jeffrey, here we'll take the Dui-Ming's or the pan roasted or baked Dui-Ming's with the raw shanja.
Shanja you don't need, raw shanja. Shanja, juhua you don't need to bake.
So you can, but then juhua, gangmi, and tea.
Yeah.
We then pour hot water over for tea, or do we boil it down for a few minutes?
You don't need to, just like now we
Just
drink that.
making a tea,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
add
just
water.
making, yeah.
The concern is the
Yeah.
flavor, right?
Then, but of
Yeah.
course, they have something, not like tea bag. You probably use something like filter.
Right.
To pour
Little
those ingredients
basket,
to be,
yeah,
make that tea more clear to be, drinking.
Excellent.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So shall we take a look at
Actually, the next one we will be take the next slide. We be talks about the diabetes, because before we mentioned, but now we be before we mentioned the number 4 one, but now we need to back to the number 1. Okay,
here we are,
we
back
actually
to
have 5 different kind of the recipe for the diabetes, because diabetes now in U.S. is the number 1 problem, but in China too. Okay, people will be because the diet changing. I think you know the background, like in the they had study, like in Hawaii, before those kind of big company, like Coca-Cola, those kind of big company, to be to be advertising. So then people keep the original diet. Then they don't have that much diabetes. But now, the diabetes is the very big problem. So then, that I don't say any particular company name. Just say, every, soft drink company, they make a lot advertising, they put the money on that. Then will be what? That's the same equal amount, whatever the product selling, that's what the diabetes increase. So now I will be introduced, keep continue on the before. We talked about the yam leaf, tong chai, those recipe. Actually, it's 4 word, bad word. Okay, then another one will be, the vinegar with the, egg or soybean. But now that's why we go for that already. But now we go back to the number 1. Actually, that's really effective one. We call one of the ingredients we call jiao gulan. That actually is not the tea. It is herb. Okay, but now because for people easier to recognizing, they selling in the market. They just call jiao gulan tea. Okay, that is really, I think you can get that information in the internet. If you put that Latin name, okay, or whatever, put the pinyin name called jiao gulan, then they will be a lot of information come out. Because actually that herb, when we, they already can be made like a kind of tea leaf, but like we mentioned, that actually is not tea. So then they will be saying no caffeine inside at all. Okay, then they make like tea bag. Then will be what? You come with another powerful, that is not the Chinese herb, it's Indian herb. But Chinese herb, we in the pinyin we call that is wu shi ye. But actually we can see the Latin in the PowerPoint, that will be called gemma. You know that too?
I'm not sure the exact pronunciation of this Latin word.
Yeah, gemma sylvester.
Genema.
Yeah, no, but that is very, popular and very powerful herb from Indian to be say, to can make the people who will be taste the sweet taste will be not that attractive. They have some kind of by chemical changing, when you take that kind of herb into the body, then they will be help you to be cut down the desire for sugar, for sweet. I think you'll be get that in the internet. You just looking down that Latin name, they will be have a lot of information come out with this Indian herb. Okay, but now we talk about will be what put them both together.
Okay, so, and what Jeffrey's referring to here is that both of these herbs are now available in Asian markets in tea bag form.
Mm-hmm.
So both jiao gulan and wu shu ye, which is an Indian herb, you can get really in a tea bag form.
Yeah.
Or call your herbal medicine dealer. Obviously, with certain herbal suppliers, you're going to get better quality. No sulfur, no phosphates, vacuum sealed.
With the jiao gulan, yeah.
Yeah, with the jiao gulan. So better for your patients maybe to supply them with jiao gulan from a reputable herbal medicine supplier. However, I do recommend this combination, and it is something you can find in Asian markets. Take both of these. You will find directly on the dry shelf in the herbal section in larger Asian markets, and you can combine both tea bags. So this, again, is powerful for balancing the blood sugar.
Yeah, the blood sugar, yeah.
Now,
then even though have the people, because the sugar, in your blood, but then also they will be make you desire for, take more sugar. Okay, so then they will be happy. Of course, we talked about that. This also will be, like acupuncture. So we will be also do something like a Tian Wei, those kind of points, or internal secretion in the ear, those kind of combination. But now we're just talking about it's just the dietetic things. Okay, so then we put all together. It should be, help people a lot.
All right, and that's that idea that if people like to drink this tea, they like to have the heimu in the diet. If they start creating a lot of the things we're talking about today into the diet as part of their daily routine, they will not be having necessarily cholesterol problems or diabetes.
Yes. Okay, then another recipe we can be introduction. Then we be jiao gulan again, but combined with bitter melon. Then people will be asking, what will be that kind of, actually they can be available in certain they already make, but you can make by yourself too. That is just the bitter melon, they just, sun dry. Like you buy one of the kind of fresh bitter melon, then you just put, just like we processing, the fresh herb. Dry out, then you chop it into small pieces. Then you mix it with jiao gulan, whatever tea bag form, or whatever the original, the raw form. Actually, do we, in the market, do we feel at something related to tea, that session? Then
like a tea section.
Yeah, then we can be showing the jiao gulan. I think we did that on the slide. No?
I don't have it in this slide.
Yeah, that's all right. That's all right. Yeah.
But yeah, jiao gulan is common in the tea section,
yeah,
in the
section.
herb section, and also the Indian herb as well.
Yeah.
So you can get both. And here's a little close up of bitter melon for us to take a look at, because bitter melon.
That is the fresh one, but we be, because we want to be make the tea, then we want to be like keep it for a long time, won't spoil easily. So then better we just make the like dry form.
Dried out.
But market, excuse me, also can selling those kind of mix it or just dry bitter melon slice is also available
also,
too.
Bitter melon is very powerful.
Yeah.
Powerful medicine.
So then the things is it, of course the taste is bitter. Okay, but that's what the problem. People like it sweet. Then we need to be using the bitter taste to counteract that the sweet. That's what the the diabetes patient the problem. So then they need to be we need to tell the patient that is bitter. But then after you sip drinking later on, actually they will be feel a little bit sweet, like gan chao, licorice. Okay, it's different like sugar. Okay, like that kind of sweet. So first is bitter, then later we have somewhat slightly sweet. So then we just need to education the patient, have to be get used to that kind of taste.
I like the jiao gulan tea.
Yeah, jiao gulan tea actually is pretty good.
Yeah, I think it is good.
It's a little somewhat bitter, yeah.
A little bit, but then it has different levels of flavor. It hits you with the bitter a little bit, and then the sweet aftertaste is perfect. It does open up the lung qi, so it's great for breathing.
Yeah, they actually call that jiao gulan is called Southern China ginseng or whatever huang qi, because they will be have similarity effect like huang qi and ginseng, but much mild, and also will be much cheaper.
So you say tonifies
Yeah,
qi.
it's in more
and
like southern China.
more like tonified qi herb than and not so much.
Yeah, we
release
can put it in
sucrose.
the 25 Qi category.
Category, you think?
Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah.
I think that's fair, and
Mhm.
it really does strengthen the lung qi. You'll feel it pretty quickly, its effect. So it's very refreshing that way as a tea.
Mhm. Okay, then another jiao gulan combination, there will be jiao gulan with American ginseng. Again, so American ginseng is available in the Asian market much, and also the form will be what you can buy it the raw one, then you can buy it the chopped small pieces one, you can buy it by like tea bag form. It's any different kind of form is available. So then some they actually make like granule, okay, many. So then we can be used that to be mixed with jiao gulan. So then they will be the same idea. It is tonified, but also will be cooling.
Okay.
Yeah, then we be complete related with. So now we want to be talk about the diabetic too.
All right. Let's talk.
I mean what the obesity.
Obesity. Let's get into that one. A big problem in the clinic.
The obesity is considering the big problem now in the health issue. So then people, I think they, Adam, do you know the percentage of the American people? How many people? I mean, how many percentage got overweight?
Yes, way too many. That's how many.
Okay.
A very, very high and increasing at an alarming rate. So this is a huge problem.
Yeah.
That we're facing. It's endemic. It's a national problem.
Yes. Not only national problem, of course, we will be more like, especially in U.S., but it's the whole world problem too. Because after, the people economic is getting better, especially like China. So then we be what? Now people facing to the same problem like U.S., people get overweight. Started from children.
And one of the stars of the show is bamboo shoots for.
First, I put on the red mark already too.
Let's start with the contraindications.
So very important. We say no soft drink, and also, even though
consume more
ice water. Why
ice
then?
Water.
Then people will be asking. Okay, soft drink, people understanding because soft drink will be including many chemical things and also sugar and things. Then why even though not cold water? Because cold water is American, the popular drink. People just drink, even say, oh, I drink just the plain, ice water. Should be no problem because no calorie, nothing.
Right.
Okay, but the problem is that what? People when outside's hot, so then we be what? Then we will be want to be make body cooling. Okay, then we drink a lot of cold water over there. Then get into the stomach or digestion system. Then how the biochemically changing or whatever how the body reacted because you have very cold to the stomach. Then the body thinking now outside is very cold. We need to do some fat cell or to protect, the body and the digestion system. Then they will be what? The body will be automatically to generation some fat cell around the, the digestion system. So that's what the people who have overweight usually is on the belly, okay, stomach area. So we will have a lot of fat cell because when you drink more cold, then they will be, generating more fat cell, okay. So of course, like air condition too, that's the problem because generally we say like a hot weather, nobody like it. So then we put everywhere we put air conditioning. Then people not sweating. There will be what? Same thing, actually when we exercise or when the weather's hot, the body will be what? Will be, automatically to put some sweating to in order to make body inside more cooling. Okay, but now will be what is the problem? So in all those kind of like first world, not the second or third world, that all the people will be what put all the air conditioning, same thing to drink the cold water. Then will be what is not exercise. So that's what the diabetes come from. Okay, so then will be what we say the lifestyle is most important on that issue too.
So
you can see in the tropical area, the country. Do you saw many overweight people? I don't think so, because actually that's one of the methods we say lose weight will be put in the sauna. But they already have sauna because it's so hot on the weather. So then we be just sweating a lot.
Right. So the cold water, then we say in Chinese medicine maybe damage the stomach qi.
Yeah.
And then shuts that metabolism down.
Yeah.
So when we have
then the body will be reacted to be want to be to protection or something. Then they will be like people you can know that usually more fat. They will be they should be not very easy to get cold. So when you go to the cold weather or something, so then of course who will be killed first? Okay, is the skinny people. Okay, so then will be when the people who had a lot of fat cell, they should be survival. Okay, but now we just opposite. We don't need that kind of the fat cell anyway. Okay, so that's what we will be say. When you drink, even though it's hot weather, it's opposite. You should be drink hot water.
And that helps the sweating.
Yeah, that make you sweating.
Yes.
Okay, or cause exercise too. You'll be sweating. Or, sauna, that's what can be make you sweating too. Okay, so that's what we mentioned. Besides, we talk certain, before, talk about any item, that actually is key issue.
So no ice water if you're overweight. You'll shut down your metabolism.
Yeah.
Your body will think it's wintertime.
Yeah, it is. They will be generation the fat cell.
And it will preserve the fat cells. This is the same thing when people spike their glucose levels with too much sugar at once. They interfere with the insulin-glucagon pathway. And that's what happens with the soft drinks. The body will also... it'll wreak havoc and interfere with that pathway. Body will start to preserve fat. If you want to preserve fat and gain weight, drink more ice water. Otherwise, no ice water. And that's interesting. We want to induce sweating, especially in the summer, to release the surface.
Yeah. People thinking, when very hot day, then you drink the hot water, so that will be what it will be make you feel sick. But actually, it's opposite.
Right.
So you feel better, actually.
And the most extreme cases during summer heat, if someone has a little case of summer heat, you cannot really drink cold water. It has to be warm. Or even better, something with salt and sugar. Or something with electrolytes, obviously, but not cold. But then it's very hot when people have summer heat.
Yeah.
So that's also consistent. And soft drinks, very popular in America, but big problem.
Yeah, it is. Because actually that's one of the kind of political things, business things. Because, the company, they want to be, the business grow, okay? Then because they, need to be, to watch the stock, okay? Then the stock is not up, then will be what? They are not selling that much, they have trouble. So then they will be hiding all those kind of, they just, advertising to let the people, whatever they drink more, even say diet something. But they all is, kind of, hurting you.
Yeah, a lot of the sugar substitutes can also stimulate the same reaction in the body as sugar, even though it doesn't have the calories. So then we still have the same metabolic process issue. Even though the calories aren't there of shutting down the metabolism.
Okay, so now we'll be talking about certain important food related with the lose weight, okay? So the number one that is bamboo shoot. That is not American diet, okay? How people find out, the bamboo shoot will be help to the diet. Same thing again from the countryside, from the before the experience. Because on the like a certain area in China, they had something like grow a lot of bamboo. So then the village, those kind of farmer thinking, oh, that's kind of free food, that's what we can be get at locally. So then they will be eat a lot those kind of bamboo shoot. But the bamboo shoot, we can study what inside that. 100% just fiber, nothing protein, nothing calorie. On the before, that is no good. Why then? Because they find out if they only just use that bamboo shoot to be like a major vegetable, then with rice or something, then will be because before they have very little or the meat or those because it's expensive. So then the farmer will be just eat bamboo shoot. Later on, they find out what? They lose weight. They become skinny. They become look like sick. Okay? All the muscle will be look like kind of shrinking. Then they find out, oh, that's no good. That bamboo shoot. We need to do something about that. So then they will be started to cook with pork fat. That correct the side fat on the before. So then the people will be, oh, okay, after you eat that kind of bamboo shoot cooked with, pork fat, then will be what, okay, they are maintaining the same kind of, or even to increase a little weight. Okay? But now, we don't need to, that's what we want to, okay? We want to lose weight. So that will be what we will be, but now, in the market, like now the picture showing, that is the fresh bamboo shoot. Of course, it's available all the time now because the market demand. Before, it's always in Chinese cooking, everybody know, they put all the bamboo shoot in a can. That's no good. Okay? But now will be what? Because the market demand now will be the fresh bamboo shoot will be everywhere. But people will be asking the question, then if, we live is not the nearby, the like Asian market area, how we get the bamboo shoot? Because the bamboo shoot it can be last longer than another vegetable because the outside will be has something like, the shell, the bamboo leaf to protection, but still can be, spoiled. So then we can be use another form that will be dry form because they will be just the bamboo shoot will be sliced, then dry out, then they can keep it as like a herb. You can keep it for a long time. But the problem is that some people don't know how to cook them. They just put the dry bamboo shoot, then just cook with the water. Then will be sour and taste no good. So we need to be first. We just cook those kind of dry bamboo shoot with the water, but then later we need to be like, throw away the water several times like that. So then the bamboo shoot will be maintained, will be nothing else, only just will be, because sometimes they put a little bit of vinegar or something because you will be feel like sour or even sulfur. Okay?
Yeah, no, sulfur no good.
Yeah. So then will be what? Of course, like we mentioned, we can be as many as we can get, the fresh, the bamboo shoot, but the dry bamboo shoot is another choice.
So what Jeff
we
is
need to
saying
be
is,
just,
soak it a few
soak
times
it,
and
few
drain,
times.
soak
Yeah.
and drain, let it soak for a while because we want to get that sulfur out of there.
Yeah.
Which is why we see in the best herbal medicine suppliers, no sulfur.
Yeah.
Sulfur is not only not healthy choice, but it does change the nature. Sulfur tonifies yang too.
Yeah.
So we're worried about toxicity. So we try not to have sulfured products. If that's all that's available, try soaking many times with dry bamboo. How about buying fresh bamboo when you can and drying it yourself at home?
Oh yeah.
And then soaking
that
it
actually
to
should be
rehydrate.
the better choice. You
Yeah.
just buy a lot of the bamboo shoot, then you slice it, then you just like processing as like a herb. So you just put it in the under sunshine by yourself. That will be very safe and very good. Okay, so then some people probably can do that kind of business too. So you just get had something, the market demand, then we can be, actually now all the bamboo shoot, many is come from local. Okay, actually some people get on the backyard had the bamboo shoot too, but they don't know how to,
use it.
use it.
Yeah.
Okay, then we will be, make them like organic kind of the bamboo shoot. But you know what, the bamboo shoot or bamboo leaf, bamboo, that will be very interesting. Human body, when we eat them, we will lose weight. But the panda eat them will be gain weight. So that's what they need to keep continue eat them again. 24 hours they need to eat them 15 hours or 10 hours something to keep continue eat them, because bamboo shoot is not much protein or not much nutrient.
Right.
So then they had to be a large amount than to be maintain their the body weight. Okay, that's one of the important ingredient. But the second one, we talk about tong sin chai again. The same thing too, because tong sin chai actually the popularity, even though not as strong as like the Vietnamese. That's the major veggie for Vietnamese too. The tong sin chai, they actually grow from the water. It's cooling. Same like here, watercress. Actually, if we talk about a substitution, say, the tong sin chai, if you cannot, then before we talk about the spinach, that's okay. But actually more close the character related with the tong sin chai should be watercress. But because in U.S. watercress is still, consumed, it's I think very selling that too, but just say kind of expensive or whatever, people not get used to. So then, then spinach is more, popular. But then actually, we talk about the character similarity. Tong sin chai should be more match, the watercress. So same thing too, tong sin chai is cooling, and also will be a very strong fiber. So it's good to lose weight. So that's why same thing too, like in Vietnam or something, you can see many people is skinny.
And I believe that tong sin chai is considered sometimes labeled Vietnamese spinach, right?
Yeah, they can be labeled that, but yeah.
Not so much?
Yeah,
it's hard to find.
Yeah, I think they not really selling in the Western market at all, so people don't have much
Now, this is different than
on
choi, right?
Yeah, no, it's the same.
Same as
choi
choi?
is another name.
All right, so choi,
Yeah.
that is one way to identify it when it's labeled in a market.
Yeah.
It's tricky to find these things. I'm trying to think of, I think of tong choi, choi, or ong choi, O-N-G.
Or tong sin chai. It's all the,
Tong sin
you
chai.
know what's because the pinyin, tong, that meaning go through. Because they look like green onion, inside have very hollow. So that's what they put that name called tong chai. Like we say mu tong.
Same. Okay.
Then next one, there will be dong gua. That will be the, we call winter melon. So that melon, we actually learn that in the herbal medicine, especially the seed, we call dong gua zi. So we usually use it for like, that's what the dong gua. So we, on the originally in the herbal medicine, we use it the inside the seed. Then we take them out to dry out. That's what we use it for, like something like lung infection or something like coughing, those kind of conditions. But now we talks about use it that is as a dietetic. Use it the not the seed, is the whole one. So then will be what then? That dong gua is especially after you combine with iron, is powerful food for help the body promote to lose the water. Because actually we know that the obesity, one is the fat cell. But beside the fat cell, it's also the body holding the edema, the water. So we call that is like obesity edema. So then that's what, in the Western medicine, sometimes they will be prescribed something like, the pills to take out the water. But now that is like a natural food to be, and also same thing again too, no calorie at all. Actually, kind of the interesting, we want to take out the water, but that dong gua actually 90% is water inside. Okay, so then we be what? It's very little, something like a calorie or sugar is nothing. Okay, so if you had chance to eat them, you'll be fine now. Actually, it's no taste. It's pretty bland. So the effect will be very similarity like we learn fuling. No taste, bland, but promote urination, promote the water to be drinking. Okay, because that's what usually common combined with the obesity. Okay, is the edema.
And the bland taste is usually associated with the function
Yeah.
of promoting
Promoting
water.
the water, yeah.
So there it is, bland for promoting water. And here we have the winter melon, which is bland with slightly sweet.
Yeah.
I mean,
Slightly,
mild.
Mild.
It promotes water and clears heat. Also, not like watermelon, which appears similarly in the garden. This is a little smaller than a watermelon, typically, but it depends on the size of the watermelon, the size of the donggua. Again, we use donggua zi, which we get from a herbal medicine supplier in the clinic, and here's the whole donggua that we use in soups, and it's a great cooking melon, and it does hold its shape obviously a lot better than watermelon, so it's good for cooking. It's a firmer, fruit. And I love winter melon soup so much.
Oh, yeah, it's good. Then another one, there will be what is high dye and tofu. That's another good for help lose weight. Then why that? Because high dye, same thing again, is all is like a fiber and no calorie, okay, and no sugar, okay. That will be what as many as we can eat. Then tofu, everybody know already. Now it's become a very popular food for even American. So then we can be whatever to make those kind of ingredients to be certain combination together, okay, or even separate them one by one to eat them. But the idea will be what we need to be just had to be increase the percentage of those kind of food. Then I think everybody know the acupuncture will be come with the dietetic is together will be much stronger when we help the the patient lose weight. So then like acupuncture book will be have many points that will be talked about, but I will be point out we call 4 doors of the abdominal point. That will be like CV 11 or 12, then CV4, then combined stomach 25. That's you can add many another things you want to, but also another 4 door didn't put on this PowerPoint, but very similar, even more simple. We just call 十中四边, that meaning what is the 4 one turn on the up and down and side. So that is considered 4 door also. But don't forget, we need to be use yeast stem to make the effect stronger. But if some people don't like yeast stem, you need to be manipulating. You need to be, stimulation by your hand a lot in order to get egg fat.
Do you do electrostimulation vertically or horizontally?
Both. Like, one will be on the, one pair will be on the
Horizontal.
side, like stomach-25,
Right.
Then another one will be
Simultaneously, you like the E-stem.
Yeah.
All right. So that's a powerful crossing of the electrical current. And then low frequency.
Yeah, low frequency.
Low frequency.
Then some people often they can be also put the ear press needle, because some not everybody egg fat. It's more egg fat. Like some people will be, the patient will be feedback. We put every patient put the ear seed or whatever ear press needle. Some will be more egg fat. Some will be not egg fat. Why that? Because actually those things will be similarity. Like we do it like pain control. It had to be what if they have more want to eat more food. Okay, those kind of condition, or mentally. More because some people why they get overweight, because they usually can be because the stress, okay, then emotional issue, then they just want to keep continue to eat. So that will be similar to like we make like pain control. So that kind of condition will be put earphone or prostate, will be more fat. Then together with those things I mentioned, because on the abdominal, like we mentioned, that's what the fat cell will be more over there. Then together, so that will be more strong fat.
So the ear points, like a mouth.
Yeah, like a mouth,
liver,
or like even those stomach or intestinal.
And
Shenmen.
Yeah.
Liver, those kind of area.
Yeah. Then. And seaweed for the high dye, that's kunbu.
Yeah, it's kunbu, the same thing, because we talked about, like, the Japanese diet, too, they like it to use something like seaweed, but in the, whatever we talked about, which seaweed can be had many different kinds. So the most important one, it should be high dye in pinyin. But in English, like we talked about, high dye might be just called kelp. Kelp. Why that? Because that will be much more, because they're bigger. Okay, high dye, the original, the name is look like piece of the big cloth. Kunbu, same idea. Okay, say they will have more fiber. Then the sushi, on the outside, those kinds of seaweed will be not that strong in fat. Okay, because they more like less fiber, then they, you cannot eat that much. Okay, so then, if we switch to, the high dye, the big, kelp, that's what the most important category of the seaweed. Right. But that kind of seaweed actually is, I don't think very common selling in the like Safeway or any kind. They can be sold.
Big market, no, but health food stores, yes.
Mm-hmm. So then we need to looking for the big one.
Yeah.
Thick one.
Big, thick. Of course, we're in Santa Cruz County. It's everywhere in the ocean.
Oh, in the ocean.
So that's where our cute sea otters love to live, but it does have a very strong function. Mm-hmm. But there are many kinds of seaweed in general has this function. Mm-hmm. But you recommend the largest for the strongest function.
Kelp.
Yeah, kelp has the strongest function, and so seaweed, kelp with tofu, winter melon, tongshin chai, or replace with spinach if you must, and bamboo shoot.
Yeah.
Then also the acupuncture points there, stomach 25, CV 11 or 10 or CV4, or one sun around the navel also.
Yeah, one sun around the navel. That we call 十中四边. Okay, that is the more powerful point than another point.
And, I saw an interesting recipe also, taking fuling, making a powder, and people used it as flour. So when they make like weight loss dim sum.
Yeah.
So actually fuling can be made into a powder, and then you can use it for cooking, mixing it with the flour.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So also very interesting. And like winter melon, it has a kind of promote water function. And so here we're going to combine all of these ingredients we're looking at now into different dishes, or you like a soup with this particular combination?
Soups, you can be put like, bamboo soup, then with the high dai tofu, you can do that, or, tong xin chai, you can with the bamboo soup, or tong xin chai with high dai tofu, all the different combination, because the idea, we just say, want to eat more, but you need to make the taste is always a little bit changing, then the human body is like that. You cannot eat one thing all the time, then you'll get bored with that.
True. I'm always thinking of how to get the patients really interested.
Yeah.
And get the flavors going. We can also maybe add Dwayming's roasted a little bit.
Yeah. Or yi ren, is good.
Yi ren would be good in there. Yeah, excellent. Because that will not spoil the flavor at all.
Yeah.
So, trying to be clever with the soups, working out the flavor palette is probably the trickiest part for the American diet.
Yeah.
But this is a good starting place to make a soup with these ingredients. And winter melon is also found in some Chinese restaurants in America also. Yeah. So you can see sometimes combined with a meat like a chicken or pork or something like that.
Yeah, so that's what we mentioned. If the patient who want to looking for lose weight, that is not that easy. We need to had like a whole package or whatever the whole, the recipe, the idea, but then will be plus the, like we mentioned, changing the, the drinking, whatever, cannot drink, any salt drink and the, cold water, then will be what, instead we need to be changing to drink the hot tea, then we need to be exercise, then we need to be, eat those kind of dietary. Because, we have many patients will be report any method, like, Weight Watch or whatever they have special, those kind of recipe. Then later on, if they stop, the weight is, getting back again. So we need to had the whole idea, even though the patient, during the treatment, they lose weight. But then after stop the treatment, they need to be maintained, the weight. That's what we will be more basic on the dietary. Because after that, they won't have any, acupuncture points or any kind, okay? Then they just only will be changing the lifestyle and also the recipe.
So we're creating a palette of foods. Yeah. We're creating a palette of foods here. A lot of what we talked about for diabetes, a lot of what we're talking about for cholesterol, also what we have here in weight control, all are good for people who are overweight. And if we can start to replace elements of their diet with this complete palette of ingredients and with recipes using them, they will probably lose weight without too drastic a change. They do have to make these changes one by one into the diet for the whole picture. And this is a problem. Where do you begin when people eat out of a box, with artificial ingredients, and now we're trying to get them to use fresh ingredients? And this is a great place to start with this.